Hi, hello, this is Jules the Human here, and welcome to the Jules Matt Anime Hour. I'm one of your hosts, Jules the Human, and every week we go out into the world and we watch a little bit of anime. And this week we watched episode 9 through 12 of Kaguya-Sama, Love is War. And this is going to be the last time that we talk about Kaguya-Sama because we're going to be picking a new anime after this. At the end of this show, by the time you're done listening to this podcast, we will pick a new anime out of our list. Some of them are put in by me, some of them are put in by my co-host, and some of them are put in by you, the listener. And I have not been going on this anime journey alone. This is like episode 26, which is insane. We've done so many anime. We're going to get into all the stuff that we've done already, but I've been on this journey with my co-host Matt Galley. Matt, is love war?
Love is war. Love is many things. I have thoroughly enjoyed watching this show.
Sure.
I have laughed, I have cried, I have felt things that other animes have just not even taken time to even try to make me feel. I don't know. There's just a lot going on with this show. There's so much to appreciate, and yeah, I guess we're gonna just get into it.
Yeah, there's so much going on. And I'm super excited to talk about it with you. And I get to, we get to watch it together, which is pretty dope. And I think this was one that we need to watch together. This is very different than all the other ones that we've done before. Yeah, so thank you for watching or checking out us here live in chat. If you're live on Twitch, twitch.tv/JulesTheHuman, thank you so much for being here. But we are live on Thursdays, and then on YouTube we put them up later on. And you can suggest an anime if you would like to put in the chest before the end of the episode. You can sneak one in there at the last second and donate 500 bits, and you get to put an anime into the chest of champions there.
Not gonna lie, after watching this, I just want us to dive into the Promised Neverland.
Really?
That's like, if I had to just choose one that I want to get pulled right now, I'm not even gonna hide that. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Promised Neverland I added last time, and I just really want us to get into that one now.
Okay. I kind of want to watch Komi Can't Communicate because I want to be on this little love journey here.
That's fair. Keep the vibes rolling.
Keep the vibes rolling with a little bit of the same. I don't even know if it's the same thing. I don't know if it's going to be as much comedy, but we'll pick an anime at the end of the show. So stay locked in. But we need to talk about what's going on, and we got to rate it on our board. We got to rate this anime by the end. But let's go. We watched episode 9 through 12 of Kaguya-Sama, the first season. So Matt, tell us what happened in episode 9.
Episode 9, our first bit sees Kaguya wants to give
Hold on.
Sorry.
Smudge got mad at me for saying it Kaguya because I got it from you, Kaguya.
Kaguya.
There we go.
Kaguya.
Continue.
For this episode, I'll try my best.
We gotta do it. It's the last
Kaguya.
The last one.
Am I saying that right now?
Sure.
Kaguya.
Yeah, sure.
Kaguya wants to give a gift. I'm gonna try my best to say her name as little as possible now.
Does it really hurt? Does it really like okay.
It's I don't even know. I've talked about Friends with it in the past, and that's what they've always said it as, so that's what burned into my brain. I think. Whatever.
Okay.
I'll try my best though. First bit, Kaguya wants to give a gift. I'm all out of pace now. Kaguya wants to get Shirogane to take a ride home with her because it's raining outside. So she pulls a little battery swap operation. She even says that, like, this is the toughest mission I've ever given myself. It ends with Kaguya losing because he just rides home on his bike. After that, Chika wants to pay a visit. So Kaguya was out waiting in the rain for Shirogane, but he rode past her really quick on the bike, soaking her. She gets sick, and the student council decides somebody should go see her. So they play a game to decide who's gonna go and visit Kaguya. After that, we see about Kaguya Shinomiya. Ah,
Shinomiya?
Shinomiya. This bit sees Shirogane visiting Kaguya with a with her being a bit out of pace.
Sure.
Her assistant explains the whole concept of the id and the ego, and how like she's just basically that has no inhibitions right now. She's basically blackout drunk, and Shirogane is going about it with this. Why do I feel so uncomfortable right
Mm-hmm.
now? But he was pretty much like he tried to just drop off the gift, and her assistant like pushed him into her room, and things like they slept in the same bed together. They ended up literally sleeping in the same
They
bed.
did.
Yeah, that's episode 9.
So episode 9, riding in a car alone is like a date. Kind of a stretch there for Kaguya, but here we are.
I
That's the
can
battle that we're faced with.
the way the show like sets it up with her, like how she's never really been in a relationship before, yada yada yada.
Sure.
I can understand for somebody like her how just like getting any sense of alone time with somebody, it's basically a date.
But it also shows her super over preparing once again. She
Super
is
over
the
preparing.
mastermind because she has a dead battery ready for Shirogane's phone. If the thing arises, if we need a dead battery, she can
Here it
do it.
is.
Whatever, super quick. And then I love how like again we talk about the passage of time. I kind of want to, of course, dive into like the little stuff here, but I want to talk about the anime as a whole now because this is the last time we're going to talk about it. The passage of time in this anime is so much fun to play with. I love that we can do a span of a couple months if we want in an episode, or we can do a span of a couple hours or a day or 2 days because the
20
instant
minutes.
reaction, yeah, the instant reaction in the next vignette is Shirogane drove past her really quickly in the rain and launched a bunch of water on her. And then now she's sick. Oh, okay. Here's the next little battle. I love that little timeline stuff that happens in this anime. We've seen it a bunch, and you don't see that a whole lot. And it's really cool that in like a short episodic show that they can keep some through line sometimes if they want, and it's really fun. Another through line that happens quite a bit is that Chica is caught cheating. Chica cheats. What's up with
She's a
Chica?
cheater. Tabletop gamers can't trust them.
Yeah, I guess
It's
not.
all about the video gamers, Can't trust
Yeah,
them tabletoppers.
she marked the cards,
Or
and I
like bought
was
a deck of
sure.
marked cards, yeah.
I was so surprised. I was like,
I was
no
surprised the
way.
first time.
Y-
I was
Okay.
surprised the first time. The second time, when like it was like, oh, it's like hands on a clock and yada yada yada,
Yeah.
because these cards are like not symmetrical. I was like,
I
I could tell she was up to something with the way she was like moving cards around.
I didn't understand that part. They were like, it's hands on a clock, and I was like, okay,
Like
she's
you
cheating. I
you
don't know.
pick up a card and you see it's a 1, so like you put it back down where the 1 hour would
Oh,
be for
I thought it was
you,
pointing to a card.
something like that.
Okay, something.
Basically, yeah, using the references of hours on a clock to place your cards where certain parts on the table.
But I loved this because it felt like I was watching Kekaguri, and I was like, here we are. They're playing a game. I love how many little games they have. They have a ton of little games that they play. It's so much fun. Hayasaka.
Concentration.
Sure, we got to talk about Hayasaka because she was very weird here, and I don't know if I don't know if I was justified in my like icky vibes, but Hayasaka is the assistant of Kaguya, and I'm again, we haven't really gotten confirmation. Is she another student? She works for them, sort of. She works for the family. She works as her assistant, but Hayasaka A. Smithy, I think is her full name. They say it once here. And she explains Sigmund Freud's id versus the
Yeah, yeah.
ego. it just goes into it, and how Kaguya lost her ego because she's sick, and it drained her from that, having
And
the ego. And
people that usually operate at like a consistent high capacity, their ego being gone has like a greater adverse effect on them.
sure. And I was like, you know what, whatever,
Sure.
I'm cool with
Yeah.
it.
But no,
I
yeah,
don't care.
the whole icky vibes of like her pushing, him into somebody's room that doesn't have their inhibitions, and then being like, the walls are soundproofed and nobody's going to be coming into this room for 3 hours, so just make sure you don't do anything naughty, but if you did do anything naughty, there's no way that we would be able to know about it, so just make sure you
Uh,
don't do it. It's like,
yeah, that was a lot. I was
so
like,
that was a lot.
oh, yikes,
Like
that's
just the
weird.
I don't want to give her the gift here, and then her saying like, no, where I come from, people like men give gifts to the ladies they got it for, whatever she said in the hallway right there, that was fine. Hello,
Sure.
my monitor's just turned off. Am I here?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
you're here.
um yeah, what that whole bit was fine, but then when she, in the room with all the extra stuff, yeah, that was
She just kept going, and I
very
get,
extra.
yeah, I get that it was supposed to be like funny, but I was like, oh, this is kind of uncomfy. I don't
It
know.
was kind of uncomfy, where it's like, put yourself in Shirogane's shoes, and it's
Yeah,
like, what is going on?
it's a lot. But they did end up sleeping together, sleeping next to each other, and she woke up next to Shirogane, and it was so nice, and it was cute.
Because she said that she wanted to, and she yanked him into the bed
Yeah,
by
because her
force.
because her id did it, because she was like little cutie, like little cute baby, whatever. And we see a different side of Kaguya there, and we see Shirogane trying to be a really good guy. So that's cool. I like that. I like that he was like, no, I
Yeah,
can't. I
yeah.
can't do this. Whatever. Um, so yeah, that was all right. Episode
Mhm.
9, that was pretty cool. I liked it until it got a little weird. Now episode 10. What happens in episode? Because like you were saying before this, these 4 episodes were some comedy, but like really different. Like
Yeah,
really different episodes. And episode 11, I think,
it
was my
sets up
favorite.
way more like just emotional stakes, I guess, because
Sure.
we've gotten to know these characters, and there's a like, yeah, we'll talk about it when we get there. But episode 10 first sees Kaguya Kaguya won't forgive. In this vignette, there's basically only one piece of cake, two pieces of cake between 3 members of the student council, and Kaguya and Shirogane both insist to each other that they take the cake. They're kind of having a bit of an ego off. They showcase reasons why they each do actually believe that each other should take the cake, showing that they like have been paying attention to each other and stuff, with a very like just small one-off conversations that have happened on the side with them. They're like, how do you even remember that type stuff? After that, Kaguya won't forgive. This one sees both Kaguya and Shirogane seek counsel from their peers about the current situation that they're in with each other, and it resolves with a slight confrontation happening, where Kaguya asks Shirogane if anything happened. He says no. Well, actually, I did touch your lips, but it was like not in a weird way. It was just like in a kind of funny, playful way, and she just stops him and says, "We're even." After that, we have Shirogane wants to go somewhere, and in this bit, Shirogane revisits the idea in a past episode of the student council having a summer trip, and every step along the way, he's kind of getting countered by Chika, who, as Kaguya already knows, the more you try to put Chika under reins, the more unruly she becomes. And it resolves with her leaving in tears because she's overbooked for summer, and God forbid they make plans to do anything
Sure.
while she's booked up.
Yeah.
That situation, so high school. I was like, oh my God, I can write a whole essay about the situations I've been in like that.
For sure.
It's like, you're already busy. What do you mean you're mad? Like, what?
All right, already. We get it. Okay. Why you being so loud
High
for?
school.
Claire said, "Yep, the whole thing was weird about the previous episode. Though I did like that after Kaguya is both annoyed that he didn't do anything, even though she's mad that he could have." Yeah, it
That
was
that
the
that part too. She was
it was
like, "Well, he should have because I'm pretty." And
yeah.
I
I
don't even
mean,
know.
it's definitely like younger thought, but I don't know.
High school
Whatever,
vibes for sure.
high school vibes. But um, Sharaba, we learn about Sharaba, which is crunching right before a deadline, or when two people have beef and it's about to get real. I feel like we don't talk enough about the narrator because he is
Oh
the
yeah.
driving force here in these episodes, and it's
Oh
so
yeah.
good. It's so intense when it needs to be. It's silly when it needs to be, and I think I have a new favorite voice actor because it's so good, so dope. But we get the cake. I called it the cake incident. Um, they both
I
have
just put
resentment
cake fight.
towards, yeah, the cake fight. They both have resentment towards each other because of what happened during the sleepover, and they're kind of weird. But then Chica just kind of ruins it and ruins the cake feeding thing that was about to happen, which would have been cute. This entire time, these 4 episodes, I did not know at the start of this that I would care so much about these two trying to be in love or try to care for each other, but like here was where I'm like, come on. Like whenever like last episode, this episode, when I'm just like, come on, feed each other cake. I don't care. Touch hands, move, walk past each other, touch hands or whatever. And then when they finally do it here, when she finally is like, we see on camera her touch his lips, and I'm like, "Fuck, thank you. Oh my god.
Something.
You
Something.
something." And it's so good.
That was a good
So,
way of the show handling it, in my opinion.
yeah.
Like where it's like it you can see that there has still been no admission of like complete feelings, which is what the show originally presented. Like once somebody admits feelings, like war's over.
Yeah. So like you said, we see them go and ask for advice. Ishigami is not the person to go to for advice. I think we know this by now. Uh yeah,
He just like me
Shirogane
for
goes to
real.
him.
Just explodes with how the situations as presented are playing out.
Ishigami just does not know how to talk to girls. It's so weird. Uh, I don't know. I'm on the fence about him. I'm like, okay, whatever. But he does say some outlandish things, but I like the character as a character. But then sometimes it's like, well, bro, you can't, don't say that. What are you talking about, dude? What's going on?
He doesn't think before he speaks, I think. Like
Sure.
doesn't like
He has no
he's
filter.
like, Kaguya and Shirogane are very much like they're plotting every single move they make, but
Sure.
yeah, with
Okay.
Chika and
Ishigami.
Ishigami, they're both just off the cuff.
Okay. That makes sense.
They're not like
They're the
kind
two
of
opposites. Okay. That okay, now that I think about it like that, okay, that's cool. I'm down for that. Because you're right, they do calculate too much, and then these other two are like, whatever.
yeah. He
Eat the cake, eat each other's cake.
spoiler non-spoiler, in the last episode, he just walks into the room and immediately is like, "Oh, guess I'm going home. Everybody hates me."
Yeah.
Like all he did was walk into the room.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Um, do
Excuse
we
me.
have any thoughts, or do we have any idea yet about what Chica's family does or what she does? Because she's going on summer vacation everywhere. She's going to Spain, California, whatever. She's just Hawaii, whatever, all this stuff. She's going everywhere for summer vacation. And she has no way to fit in fun times with
And at the
the student
same
council.
time that she's saying she's doing all those things, Shirogane goes, "Well, there's still plenty of cool things to do at home. We can do plenty of stuff." And she's like, "What do you mean? There's no time for things. We have to study for our entrance
Yeah.
exams." Um,
Yeah.
and it's just like, and he's just deflated at the fact of like, what do you mean? You have all these plans. How are you planning to study?
It's so
Chica is
odd.
awesome.
I
Love
love
her.
Chica. Yeah, for sure. Love Chica. They bring back up the summer vacation plans, which was in a past episode.
Mhm.
Again, time
These
movement
callbacks, yeah.
throughout the year. I'm like, this is great. I love this. I love when something happens in an episode and it's lore. Unlike what happens in a regular comedic sitcom where it's like a bottle where
Yeah.
like they do not affect each other. Like you
Yeah.
can watch
Each episode kind of gets taken as a vacuum. That way,
sure
if
you
I
can
just turn
watch
on the TV and flip to a channel and that show's on, I don't need to have the context of everything that's happening. I know the show, so I know the characters and the situations it's going to
like
present.
a Seinfeld or like a
Yeah.
Frasier or something
Or even
like
like a
that.
Family Guy or,
Family
some
Guy,
cartoons and stuff. Yeah.
sure. But this does have linear motion, and I'm like,
hmm
yes, let's go. This is dope.
Even though it takes the concept of like those sitcoms and applies it to the show.
Yes, for sure. So we get to episode 11. Summer vacation is happening. And what's going on in Kaguya-Sama Love is War, episode 11?
Episode 11 has starting with I wants to get soaked with. This one is kind of set from the perspective of I, as Kaguya consistently bugs her out of her relaxation time to help her with Twitter, understanding Twitter. And the show kind of explains that Kaguya has the same amount of tech knowledge, tech savviness as the old guy that runs the local candy store.
Sure.
After that one, we see Chica really wants to eat it. This is a total side vignette in which we see Chica going into a ramen shop and enjoying a bowl of ramen with a ramen connoisseur across the counter, examining every move that she makes. But at the end of the day, she makes it out with a thumbs up from both the the connoisseur and the ramen chef.
Sure.
After that, Miyuki Shirogane wants to see you. This one has both Shirogane and Kaguya kind of moping about at the fact that they haven't seen each other, and they both do a little trip to the school in hopes that they'll catch each other in passing, and they just happen to miss each other. And that part, I was like throwing my fists in the air. I was like, why are you gonna do me like that? The whole bit where she's sitting in the chair, he's walking down the hall, he opens the door, but then there's nobody there. She's in the same place he was before. I hated that, but I loved it.
Yeah.
After that, I can't hear the fireworks. This is a sequence that happens post credit that sees Kaguya explore her family's relationship and her upbringing, and like relationships in general, how estranged she
Sure.
is from her family, and how she has never really had a solid core group of friends growing up.
Yeah, and I definitely want to dive into that stuff
Mhm.
for sure, because that just caught me off guard, and this is probably my favorite episode.
What?
So the mention of Twitter was kind of odd. I was like, oh, okay, we're talking about Twitter now. But Shirogane and Chika use Twitter. Chika uses it just to post about where she's been, where she's going, and all this stuff. And then Shirogane is protected tweets.
Yep.
I was like, that's really funny. That's
Yep.
really cool. How they're explaining Twitter, whatever. And it made sense if you didn't know what Twitter was.
Mhm.
And even the whole Kaguya doesn't know what a CAPTCHA is, even. It's like, oh God, she's so behind.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, it's just so wild. So that was kind of cool, the whole Twitter thing, because it sets up for later, right? Like this is
Mhm.
needed for
Exactly.
later. And I
Falls
love
back
that.
to it in the next episode for sure. Yeah.
Totally love that stuff. And then, bro, I was like, what's happening? And then I got lost in it. And then I was like, oh, we're still watching Love is War. The whole middle ramen noodle shop incident is my favorite thing ever in the world. I
And
loved this.
how you were just saying in the last episode how it felt a bit kakaguri.
Yeah.
This bit felt a bit Food Wars, watered
yeah.
down Food Wars.
Totally. Food Wars, less moaning.
Yeah.
For sure.
less visual
Less
artistry.
sussiness. Yeah, sure. So we meet I was like, who's this guy? I was like, what is it? We see him walking to the ramen shop and all this stuff. We get this whole lead up to him. Saburo Hadajara sees Chika in a ramen shop and he goes off and just explains everything. Explains what did you call what did they say it was?
The water cycle,
The
the
water
proper way to
cycle.
eat the ramen after you inhale it for the fumes, then you take a bite doing a certain like combination of the noodles, and then you take a sip of the broth, and then you wash it down with water, resetting your palate. The water cycle.
Yeah, I'm gonna go eat ramen today, so I'm gonna go try that out. The ramen sketch is excellent. It's so good. I
It's
was
awesome.
so engrossed. I was like, this feels like JoJo's a little bit. Like it was just like super intense, and for some reason, it was so good. Cannot say
For
enough.
for where this episode leaves us after like the next two bits, this one I think is like a good, like, bring you up before you like kind of get brought back down.
I didn't know I needed that. I
Yeah.
didn't know I needed that, and then it got so sad, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, this is what happened. This is." It was a good play for them.
Mhm.
He also brings up the one for all philosophy for ramen, which was really funny because Chica makes her spoon
Mini
full
ramen
of
in the spoon.
mini
Yeah.
ramens in a spoon, and it's like really silly, and
And then
it's
the
just a fun
garlic,
time.
and then crushing the garlic. That was like
It's so good. I love it. Yeah, I loved that for so I did not think yeah, again, I was like, "What is this?" And then I was super engrossed by it, and I was like, "Okay, well, I need to know more. I need to keep going. We need to keep talking, my man. Keep talking ramen." And we meet the ramen kings, the four
the
ramen
four
kings, which
ramen
come back
kings.
later too. Oh my god, so good. So we get ramen connoisseur Chika Fujiwara. And then we get the whole after stuff,
Mhm.
the really sad stuff. So we see how alone Kaguya really is. Um, how everyone still wants to hang out with her, but she feels so alone during the summer. How she doesn't feel like she can go and hang out with people because of her family or because of who she is, of her status, and then we see blatantly that Kaguya's dad doesn't give her enough attention or any
Mhm.
love, and
Mhm.
um,
Yeah, she mentions, well, she was gonna go shopping with like Chica and everybody, but
yeah,
then she gets called to her family's state house, like, upstate, and she gets there and she's like just kind of there until she sees her dad, and then he's just like, "Oh, you're here, great," and he just moves on. It's like, why? I'm confused as to why she was there. Like, what show of face was she making for? Because like
yeah.
I don't know if the show's mentioned that her family's, super wealthy, yada yada, but I don't know if it's said exactly what he is. Like, is he a senator? Like a something like that? Like,
I mean,
I
we've
don't know.
only seen him walk by.
Yeah.
I think that was the only time that we saw him do
And
anything.
the in the two in the episode where Shirogane went to drop off the gift for her, there's that huge thing on the wall that like talks about their family values, and it's just like basically abandon everybody, only care about yourself.
That's crazy.
That
Whatever,
part
man.
threw me for a loop. I was
Sure.
like,
So,
yeah.
yeah, our family isn't the best. It's not great. Not great living situation, I don't think. But yeah, all this stuff doesn't hurt her because that's how it's always been, and she's meant to be perfect. And she's meant to be
That hurt
this
me.
person, this doll on the inside, as she explained it. This
Porcelain
just
doll.
porcelain doll that is not supposed to have emotion or not supposed to have anything or not supposed to be individual or
And it's supposed to
have
be
this.
cared for because it's so precious and fragile.
Yeah, and she explains all this, and I was like, I was really feeling for her. I did not know that this anime was gonna make me feel this stuff. It was so good. I enjoyed it. I was really sad, and I was like, wow, this hit hard. And in the moment that hit hard was when she was like, it all doesn't matter because she's finally gonna go see fireworks at the festival tomorrow. And I was like, oh my god, this I understand this because like in life there's like these little things that you kind of like, yes, this is the one little gem for me, and to her it's the extreme, it's an extreme situation that her family's like this and all this stuff because anime is super extreme. But
Mm-hmm.
this one thing that she wanted will make it all okay because she gets to see fireworks with her friends at the festival for the first time ever live. Um, and yeah, and that sort of probably should tip me off that maybe it wasn't going to happen or something
Yep.
was going to go weird. But I was so hoping and I was so rooting for her to have fun with her friends, and I didn't know that I was going to feel that much. So it was pretty dope.
No, yeah, that that moment hit me like a truck right out of Zombieland Saga.
We should have the GIF just ready. Yeah, I loved it. I loved the whole after credits thing. I was like, wait, what's this? What's happening here? And it was really good. So yeah, let's talk about episode 12. Because we still got to pick a new anime today. We're gonna pick a new anime to watch together, and we're gonna rate this one and all that stuff. So episode 12, the final episode of season 1. What happens?
Episode 12 has us with I Can't Hear the Fireworks Part 2, which is the companion episode to where the last episode left, or the companion vignette. This sees Kaguya's plans become unraveled because of the whole family situation. They don't think the security personnel in the house doesn't think that she should go to a festival because that she could get lost, yada yada yada. Porcelain doll. So she's down and out. She tweets out that she really wanted to go to the festival, see the fireworks with everybody, and Shirogane in response goes looking for her, but at the same time he's going looking for her, she's leaving and escaping to go where they are. So they just almost cross paths a few times. The show is just really good at doing that to us. They almost cross paths a few times in this in the crises, but she eventually makes her way to the plaza for the festival, and it's over. She didn't make it in time. Everybody's leaving. There's an announcement overhead that thank you for coming, take your trash, go home. She goes into a side alley to be distraught and cry, get her emotions out, and Shirogane manages to find her. He takes her by the arm saying, let's go see some fireworks, and the whole rest of the student council is waiting for her with a taxi to get to the next town over to catch the firework display that's about to happen that got delayed due to weather. And just in time, they come out of an underground tunnel for the whole squad to see the fireworks. However, she can't even see or hear them. All she can see is Shirogane, and all she can hear is her heart beating.
Oh my god. So good.
Yeah. Wow. This was a wow moment for me, for sure.
Yeah.
Whoo! After that, next we get Kaguya doesn't want to avoid him. And this kind of sees both Kaguya and Shirogane both have a nervousness about them as they have to be confronted with each other's presence again as the semester starts. Kaguya wants to tell him thank you for what he did, but she slips up on her phrasing, and he takes something as a slight against him.
Yeah.
And reacts as such, running off that he is because he's embarrassed. And she goes running after him because she didn't get to tell him what she wanted. And that sets us up for their second semester.
Season 2.
I'm not crying, y'all are. True.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Love is war. Love is war. Love is war.
The fireworks festival is where it's all gonna go down, and Kaguya really wants to have a good time. They told her she can't go because she's important and they can't take care of her, whatever. But then Hayasaka tweeted from Kaguya's account. That's what we assume, right? Her assistant tweeted from her account that she wanted to. Okay, cool. Because she didn't really like. They alluded to it, but yeah, that she tweeted that Shirogane saw it,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "I gotta go save." And I loved that. I loved that he was like, "I gotta go. Let's
Yep.
go." Because then we see the little one follower, and it's or the two followers, and it's him and Chika, and she's like, her only other tweet was like, "This is my
Hi,
first
this is
tweet."
my first tweet.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the other one's like, "I want to go see
I
the
want to go see
fireworks
the
with you."
fireworks with everyone.
And then he was like, "Let's go." And they pass. It's so intense. It's so tense and intense and camping and all that.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
so
especially with the whole oh, it's in the next city over, it got delayed, it's 8:10, it starts at 8:30. Can we make it? And then the taxi cab driver's like, can you make it? I'm gonna put
he's
this baby in overdrive.
he's one of the ramen
He's one of the
kings.
ramen kings.
Oh my god! But before that, I the whole when she showed up and the fireworks were done,
Bro.
I
I,
I
s- I
was
was I was crying.
I died.
Yeah.
I was like, no. I was like, no, wait, no. This is not how it's supposed to go. I was like, wait, what? And then they string you along again with like some more stuff, some more intense stuff. And I was so rooting for Kage here. And I had so many feelings for her. And I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. I did not know. And because she just wanted one moment with together with them. She just kept saying, like, this means so much, man. This means so much to her. And it means not it just fireworks to me, but like to her, it's everything. And I
I
wanted her to have
hate
everything.
fireworks. I see fireworks all the time. I lit like my childhood home was in like visibility of my
You were
on
in
my
a fireworks.
balcony
Yeah.
in visibility of fireworks shows. So like I don't care about fireworks. I think they're pretty boring. But the way the show sets all this up, it's like I want nothing more than for this drawn character to see some flickering lights with the people that she wants to see them with. Like I wanted nothing else.
Mm-hmm. And she says, why would I pray to God if he doesn't exist? And I was like, okay, that's a lot. I was like, oh buddy, there's a lot. Um
High school, that's how it feels. Like
yeah, well,
I says
yeah,
one thing I think where it's like one one mishap can beget another and they just start to snowball and that can have you feeling like the whole world is against you.
sure.
And yeah,
And I felt it.
yeah,
I felt it here. I
felt
was
it
like, I'm in
there.
it.
I have felt that in the past. It's a lot. It's like, you just want that win for that character when you get that sense of relatability to them where it's like I know what that feels like and I want that person to have the best possible outcome. And I think this was the best possible outcome.
Sure.
I think the way things worked out in this episode was better than if she was able to go and see the fireworks show with them and they would have just like all gone as a group and just seen it with no problems.
Sure. Because then we get Shirogane being a badass here and saying, let's go. We're doing this. We're going to do this other thing. And then you talked about this moment, but I want to get into it because like you
Let me
said,
grab my tissues. Hold on.
like you said, um eh, this worked out to the best possible way. I feel like I was expecting her to be like, oh, the fireworks and stuff, but then they took it the extra level to hit me in the feels where she's like, I don't even care right now. In this moment, I swear we were infinite. Uh she's just so focused on him and he's right there. And I'm like, this is what I want. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I want. I want them to be. Please. It really was just like a movie. Yes. I was like, oh my God, I love this. She just wanted to be close. And this is all, oh, it's so good. I loved that moment because it just waited. It just held in there in the moment where everybody else is looking. And then all she can do is just feel for him. And I was like, wow, that's crazy.
And it makes sense for the way that the show presented it because like she like when she was rushing to get there, she was like, I want to be with the first person that like had the courage to be my friend. I want to be with the first underclassman I tutored, and I want to be with the first person I can't stop thinking about. So it's like in that moment,
Uh,
being there, it makes sense that that's all she's focused on. But on his side, it makes sense that all he's focused on is the fireworks because, like in the cab, like he said, she wants to see fireworks, so we're gonna go see some fireworks.
yeah.
So in that
So
moment, the fireworks are there, and he's in that moment.
essentially, yes, but he's with her because he think that's what she
That's what she
ultimately
wanted.
wants.
Exactly.
And she does ultimately want that, but
Something else was more important in the moment.
yeah, he's 100% focused on making her happy and getting her. Yes, exactly. And it's like, oh, this is so great. And I wish the episode would have ended there. I really wish the episode would have ended there, but I understand why they needed to end it this way
Yep.
and why they need to set up for the next stuff because this was the perfect moment. This was
Yeah.
it.
Show could have ended there. Yeah.
After that, all the other little stuff I wasn't really fond of. The whole them being shy, them ignoring each other, I was like, oh no, I don't want
It's
this
like
anymore.
it's the bashfulness of
Sure.
like that interaction and like and like Shirogane. I love the bits where he's replaying it back on repeat, but in his head canon, he sounds like a total dork
Yeah,
in
he
those
sounds super
moments.
cringe.
And
You
like his
want to
voice
go
is like
see
cracking and stuff.
fireworks? Yeah, like all
Like
this,
I
like
love how the show presents that because
yeah,
that's overthinking 101, where it's
sure,
like you were fine, you were totally fine, but you're gonna replay all that trying to look for the mistakes you made and stuff, and you're gonna start overthinking the things you said. And it was like it's just, even though I hate it and it's not what I want for them, it's like I've been there and I felt it.
sure, yeah, yeah, yeah. He sees himself as super cringe, and it happens. Yeah, you
Yeah.
overthink things, and it's like, wow, did I really say that way? How did it come out? Whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, Ishigami goes home where things make more sense. Don't die. Uh, Shirogane, Chika gets shot down as well. The little fighter pilots, whatever, whatever. And Shirogane mistakes that was painful by Kaguya, and they go back to how they were. And that kind of sucked. I really did not like that. But I'm not going to judge the whole anime off of like the last 5 minutes of something that's setting up for season 2, which I understand. But yeah, she says that was painful, but he thinks it was for um or he thinks it was for like the night last
Mhm.
night or whatever. And it's like, oh no. And then he just yeah.
A
So
simple misunderstanding leads to a complete reset in their
yes.
relationship, the narrator says. But even like in my mind, going into season 2, there's no way like this season gets ignored
No.
by the way the show has been running so far. Season 2, I would hope, will have plenty of like callback stuff to season 1 and stuff.
Oh, for
Just
sure.
gonna like keep building that timeline. um so it's like how you were saying sitcoms have that complete reset at the end of an episode for the next one. I don't think it's actually a complete reset, even though that's what the show said. It just means that like they're not going to be so bashful with each other. They're going to act like friends that have crushes on each other again,
Yeah.
but with all the other stuff leading up to it.
And that was a good that was a good love is war. I don't even know how to say. I don't know. That was
The
that's
war
the end.
sure is love.
Sure. Yeah. Man, that war be loving. Um let's rate the anime. We
Let's
rate
rate
the
the anime.
animes after we're done because we watched all 12 episodes. We talked about all 12 episodes of the first season. Now we're going to move on to another anime. Before then, we got to rate this anime. We rate it on our own scale of animation, storytelling, and vibes. And we give it a tier ranking and we rank it among the other anime that we've already seen on this podcast. So, animation, Matt, what are you giving it?
Animation for me, I'm giving it an S. I mean, it was completely consistent. All of the comedy bits were like, none of the comedy like cutaways ever felt like the same thing. It was like constantly doing something fresh, something that was keeping my attention visually very distinct. So I definitely am giving it an S on animation. There's
Yeah,
never like a moment where I'm just like waiting for the next thing to happen. And that's impressive considering for a large part of this entire set of episodes, they're like in one room.
sure.
Crazy.
Just talking,
Yeah. Which
not doing
calls
anything.
back into this like the sitcom inspirations of the show.
Yeah, for sure. I give it a 10 out of 10. I never got bored. I never got bored with the visuals at all. It looked great. There was always some like there was a fighter pilot stuff at the end. And I was like, okay, cool, let's go for it. The ramen stuff, like I can't say enough about these last 4 episodes. But the entire show, it was just so much fun visually. And the audio helped as well. Watching it in English helped a lot as well because it was just more silly. But yeah, it looked great. I didn't have any problems with anything. I liked um yeah, I liked it. I liked
No,
the
yeah.
animation. Storytelling, what do you give it?
Storytelling up to episode 9, I would have said like if the show followed that nature and just kind of wrapped itself up with kind of more or less where we started, I would have given it an A. But these last 4 episodes like just tipped the scale for me into S tier for sure, where it was just like I didn't think a show like this could be pulling on my heartstrings so hard, honestly.
Mhm.
Just plain and simple. Like I was very impressed with how bought into the show I became,
Sure.
honestly. I was
Yeah,
not expecting that from episode 1 where I was like, this is going to be fun. I'm going to laugh a lot and it's going to be cool. But where we ended is a far cry from where we started, where I would have never expected that.
sure.
How would you rate the storytelling?
I mean, same thing. Again, I just didn't know I would feel this much, and I didn't know they were gonna go there. Because in the first episode, first couple episodes, it's a lot of fun, silly, goofy time, and that's cool. But we're during the fun, silly, goofy time, they've been like spot dropping some things where they're showing this person cares a lot. They're showing, this person doing this thing. It's like, oh, huh, whatever. And then by the end of the season, it's like it all actually comes to a head. Like it's actual season finale. It feels like it actually feels like a moment that we've built to with these
It
characters that
felt
we really
deserved
like.
and earned.
Yeah, earned,
Yeah.
observed, and we saw this happen. Again, the time I can't say enough about how cool it is that there's a time frame, the time moving time where they're like, okay, this is a semester, this is whatever, and we're gonna have little scenarios dependent on the time frame of what it is. And I'm like, yes, this is great. I love this. So 10 out of 10 storytelling. It's just fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Not just like the characters or anything, just like the stories that they were trying to tell a lot of the time. So it was pretty dope. Vibes. What'd you give Kaguya-sama Love
Yeah.
is War on the vibes?
Vibes is like S tier for sure. There was not like I said before with the animation, it kind of goes hand in hand. There's not a moment where I was like, I felt bored. I was like waiting for something to happen. I was kind of like, get to the point already. It was constantly like quickly throwing things at me.
Mhm.
Um, the uh, the jokes were great, always landed. The jokes that didn't land, because there are some in there, the next joke happens so fast that I forget about it in the moment. So like the comedy aspect of it, awesome, I would say. The narrator adds a completely different layer to the show. You take the narrator out, it's not the same show. The vibes are not the same. And yeah, just the ability that the show was able to the fact that the show was able to make me laugh, make me cry, make me feel a lot of different things just was awesome. Where a lot of times coming out of certain anime, like you get, I don't know, a certain feeling, I guess. Like
Sure.
but this one is just a lot in one in a good way.
Mhm.
And like I said, it all feels earned. Every bit feels earned. Like you said, you feel like you're observing this relationship that's like playing out and growing. And I mean, I'm probably gonna watch the second season off the podcast for sure.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about potentially watching other things afterwards. I'm probably starting the second season like right now when we finish here.
Nice. Yeah,
How
for
would you
sure.
rate the vibes?
Um man, the vibes have never been higher. 10 out of 10 for sure. I had so much fun. I can't tell you like how much I wanted to watch the show. and that's weird. Well, not weird, but like, I don't watch a whole lot of anime anymore. But I watch it for the show. I watch it for this, but like I really wanted to just keep watching. I just really wanted to keep going. I wanted to see what's going on, and I wanted to hang out with my little characters. You know what I mean? And it's so dope. It was funny, like you said. It gave me everything. It gave me a ton of different stuff. I loved these little characters that we got to meet, and we got to play in a little sandbox with and see their life play out. And um, no complaints. It was just so much fun, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I don't even know what to say. It was just like I highly recommend it. Like you said, all the voice acting, even I don't know. Just of course, the main player is the narrator, but all the voice acting added so much to it in English. It was so good. I was so surprised at how much they let them do, how much they really wanted to put into it, and how how much it showed on the screen, like how much fun they were actually having doing the voice acting and all that stuff. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. Watch it in English if you're thinking about watching the show, or anything like that. Or if you've watched it all in Japanese, I would say watch it in English again because the narrator is insane and it's so good. But yeah, 10 out of 10 there on vibes and everything. So I think we know.
Yeah.
Canonically, we watched a ton of anime, and Matt has only given one anime an S tier, which was the last one, Madoka Magica. And now we
Going
go
a hot
on
streak.
to the rating for Kaguya-Sama Love is War.
Drum roll, please.
S
Woo!
tiers for both of us.
Yeah.
On the left is
Who
me,
would
on
have
the right is
guessed?
Matt. Um, so good. This anime is so good. Ranked S tier, and let's see it on the list of the other anime that we've done already. And Matt has two. I have three there on S tier. We have a couple of A's. And yeah, now we have two Matt S tiers. We have Monica Magica, which we just finished, and we have Kaguya-sama Love is War. With this, I'm voted best anime taste. Thank you to the Academy. Well, technically, I made Monica Magica happen as well, so
I
we can share.
both my S tiers are definitely anime that like outside of this podcast, I if it wasn't for this podcast, I would have never watched either of those shows. Most likely. We talked about it like way back in episode 1 how like I am just mostly a shonen head. I've mostly been a shonen head previously, and I just don't get any. I don't really watch anything outside of battle shonen. But this podcast has given me a bunch of new stuff that I've like, wow, I can't. I never imagined being able to like this that much. I've heard people
Yeah.
say good things, but like I didn't know it was like this. This is what you guys were on.
Bro, I'm crying right now.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is what
literally
y'all are watching.
crying. What the heck?
So we
So
see
good.
S tiers there. We see Chica at the top, but of course, loving Kaguya-sama Love is War. Definitely gonna see season 2 as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep watching it for sure. I really liked it. So that was the end of our Kaguya-sama Love is War arc, and with that, we say goodbye, but we also say hello to a new
Hello.
anime
Uh-oh,
that
my
we will
chest
be
is
watching. Because if you don't know, we watch anime together. We watch a couple episodes every week together, and we come back here and we talk about it. And here are the anime that are in the chest right now that are user submitted or a user or community submitted, or we submitted a couple as well. And it's here in the chest. Matt's gonna shake up the chest, and we are gonna pick a new anime that's gonna be our personality for the next couple of weeks. So, what
I
is it?
got one.
I'm scared for some reason.
It's the
It's
Promised
backwards.
Neverland.
The
Sorry, it's
pro Matt,
backwards. I
you
know. I just
you
put it
cheated.
here. I did not. I did
How?
not.
The Promised Neverland, season
I
1
shook
only.
it. Yeah, season 1 only. I
The
shook this thing on live.
The Promised Neverland.
This is my first one since we've started with because we started with Black Clover, and that was mine,
Yes.
and I haven't had one since then.
So that means I get to put in one.
You get to put a new one in.
Ooh, okay. So the Promised
TPN.
Neverland.
Before we started the show today, I literally told Jules after a show like
That's why I
that,
said he's lying.
the vibes, I wanted to start Promised Neverland to just shake up the vibes completely. So I'm sweating a bit, but it was on live. I don't know what to say.
All right. Yeah. All right. The Promised Neverland, watch episode 1 through 4 of the Promised Neverland before next week, because we're going to be discussing that anime next. And I expect everybody to change their Discord name profile accordingly, because this is our next our personality. CZ must have run out of bribe money. True. Maybe one day mine and Bubsy will be picked. Maybe someday. Wait, which one's Bubsy's? Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress.
I think that's Bubsy's.
You got one. You gotta put more than that.
Yeah, CZ had like 4 or 5.
CZ had like 4. Yeah, and they all got picked. So the Promised
TPN.
Neverland. Any final thoughts on Love is War? I loved it. It was great. So much fun.
That's just one of those shows where I just wish I could watch it again without any, like, I wish I could just swipe it from my memory and like watch it again. That's
especially like episode 11. Episode 11 took me off guard.
Episode 11 took me off guard, and then the first part of episode 12 just like hit it out of the park. Just like grand slammed it for me, where I was like, this is really good. Here's my S tier. And again, like it's hard when you take something like Kaguya-Sama and Madoka Magica and put them right next to each other, because it's not like we're doing one-for-one comparisons to directly say that like certain shows are better than other shows, but it's just like our personal tastes on completely biased, this is how we feel.
Sure.
Madoka
because
Magica
the vibes are totally different.
Totally different. So animation is an art, is a medium. It's not a genre. So we're not putting these into any generic categories or anything like that. Sure. It's just our unfiltered thoughts on it, I guess. Yeah. And Madoka Magica, and Kaguya-Sama Love is War. Kaguya, I'm saying that right. Kaguya.
There we go. We did it.
Last one. Yay. Kaguya. Love is War. Loved it.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, watching live. Thank you to everybody on Twitch, watching later on Spotify or YouTube. In case you missed any of it, you can watch all the full episodes on YouTube or watch them on Spotify. They're available there. Just look up the Jules and Matt Anime Hour and we'll pop up. But Matt, when you're not in a war of love, where can the people find you?
When we're not here, love is warring. You can find me on my Twitch at Matt_Galley, or you can follow me on any of my socials at it's Matt_Galley, ITS Matt_GALLY. When we're not here, where can the people find you?
Jules the Human on Twitch, JULES, the Human on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube. So youtube.com/Jules the Human. And next week, The Promised Neverland. We're going to be watching that. So watch episode 1 through 4, and we'll talk about it next week. So
can't wait.
Can't wait. See you next time.
Bye.